Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today will probably be a shorter video, but anyway, this is part 2 of my writing journey from 2015 to 2026. But this is from 2020 to 2026. I started off 2022 a bit differently, riding my friend's mule Ash. My friend only did hacking and western, but wanted someone to jump. He didn't have an English saddle, so I ended up riding him bareback. He was really comfy and rather well behaved, despite literally never having jumped before. He has done a lot of competitive trail stuff though, so he isn't really fazed by much. He had an amazing jump, which is quite surprising because my friend said, on the few times he jumped a ditch or stream, he leapt awkwardly. At the end, I even got to do some barrels with him, and damn, he's fast. He wasn't a saint though, he was actually quite spicy. In February, I had some flat lessons with Rebel, though he did have some bucks and got me off. In March of 2022, I did some small jumping sessions with Rebel, but he was still rather off. He refused a lot and was bucking more often than not, which was really uncharacteristic for him, but at the time I put it down to him only being 7 years old. There were good days, but I was rather worried about him. Because of the issues we were having, I only did small jumping and flat work. He did really try his hardest, but something was clearly wrong with him. April was out eventing with me and Titan at Jasper's farm. I think it was B90. The course was actually rather tight and difficult, and I generally didn't like the course. It didn't help that Titan was really fresh due to not having been eventing in around 6 months. This line was horrible and he just ran right through my aids, so he ran out. I wasn't just going to let him get away with it though, so we circled and represented. We got 12th altogether just because of how fast he was. In May of 2022, I just did a local SSO jumping competition with Titan at the SEC. He was pretty chill that day despite having 2 days off. He was absolutely flying round this course. Literally has wings. Got a little bit lost here. We ended up coming 5th because of the lost time when I forgot the course. In June, Rebel went to Jorvik's stables for vet investigations because of the strange behavior. In July of 2022, Rebel was diagnosed with kissing spine and had surgery. In August, I went to another BE90 with Titan, but I didn't record due to being stressed with the whole Rebel situation. In September, Rebel was cleared by vets to get off stall rest and go back outside for the first time since his surgery in July. I went to Golden Hills in October for a two-day jumping clinic with Titan. He was absolutely perfect on both days and tried his hardest for me. This footage was from the second day, in my opinion the best of both days, just because he was so amazing. I was so proud because he wasn't rushing, bolting, or trying to pull my arms off. We didn't do anything too difficult or big, but the whole purpose was to get him moving nicely, listening to my aids and leg and not rushing at jumps. So happy with how he came back to me here. For November, I worked a lot on dressage to give Titan a break from jumping. I was really trying to get him to stretch through his back and neck to get a nicer shape from him. He gets very tense in his back doing flat work and holds his neck very tight, so I really wanted him to stretch and work himself more. This was a rather good day, but dressage has never been his strong suit. I got some really nice photos from this day. And December of 2022 was really good as Rebel started his rehab. Just walking and trotting on the lunge or going on long reining hacks. It was a small step, but in the right direction, and I was so glad for him to be working again now that it had been 5 months since his surgery. He was really stiff at first, but it was expected. But I was just happy to have my heart horse back as his true self. January of 2023 started with some bareback hacks around Fort Pinte and Moorland with the one and only Titan. I hadn't been bareback in quite a while, so I was very pleased he didn't try to kill me. I seriously need to invest in a bareback pad, 'cause damn, he's bony. Seemed to have a bit of a bareback craze because I entered the Jorvik Bareback Challenge in February. I did the single fence challenge and the 1.10 meters jumping round. He was really speedy and rather fresh, so I'm just happy I stayed on. Honestly, I had such a good day. So proud of him. How did I stay on here? Just a short clip from the one fence challenge, but we got up to 1.20 meters. I think this is the 1.05 meters fence. He was so fresh. I was just hanging on for dear life. And of course some photos from both rounds. We came 5th in the 1 fence and 2nd in the 1.10 meters course. In March I started rebacking Rebel, taking it slow, but Rebel had healed rather quick. Just to note, we had thousands of physio, water treadmill and massage sessions since his surgery just to get him feeling well enough to be himself. He had came so far, but anyone who knows him well enough knows he wasn't perfect at this time, but we also started work again for his mental health. In April 2023, I finally got my first ride back on Rebel, though he wasn't perfect and had many bad days. We just did flat work once or twice a week because I didn't want to rush him. We also checked his saddle fit so many times to make sure he was comfortable. I was just glad to have my boy back. My little buddy, just perfect. In May, I went to Steve's farm for a jump schooling session with Titan, just as a last good session before he had a bit of a break, popping some warm-up crosses. Best boy, always getting me out of tricky spots. Honestly, the most honest horse I could ask for. That day we were working a lot on striding and collecting before jumps, trying to stop him from rushing. Prime example on where that failed. He seemed to have a cross-country brain that day and was just so wired on getting to the jump quickly and launching over it. Finally, some really nice collection. This really made me realize I need to ask him for collection because he can do it. And our favorite time of day, picture time. And in June it was back at Steve's for pole work, as I was really trying to take a break from jumping Titan so much. To be honest, it was more like a trail and pole work class mixed together, but it was really beneficial. By far my favorite exercise from that day. Why did I do pole bending with cones? I don't know, but it was fun. Here he spooked at a water tray, and I was so caught off guard I fell off. In July, as a 1 year since surgery, Rebel did some more pole work because we don't rush youngsters back after surgery. He was getting a lot stronger and building muscle very quickly. And picture time once again. And our mule who stole the show in January of 2022 is back. And I'm riding Western ... My friend convinced me to take her mule-ash on a hack in Western Tack in August of 2022. I also did some wall jumping with him because once an English girl, always an English girl. and some walks through a random field to cool off. And Rebel's first jump session in September with a grand height of 40 centimeters. Would you guess he was rehabbing from kissing spine surgery this time in 2022? Did he really have to jump the pole? Takes your time. Then Titan the Terror was back jumping in October of 2023 at the Baroness's racetrack. Seems all the collection work was forgotten by both of us. In November, both Titan and Rebel were off on break, so I went and rode my friend's 4-year-old to do some pole work. She's got such a fancy trot. She's a 17-hand giant of a 4-year-old. Probably should mention she'd never seen poles before, so a justified reaction. We went around again, and she did a lot better. Just look at that canter. This horse's breeding alone cost more than both Rebel and Titan. Popped the smallest fence ever, and holy scope, but she's a dressage horse. I felt so privileged to ride her, but holy heck, she's huge. In December, I went back to ride my friend's 5-year-old, Connie. My friend wanted me to jump school him because she does dressage and wasn't too sure where to go with it. He had a nasty bucking habit, but beyond that he was a little sweetheart. We had quite some fun playing with tricky lines. Playing with some bounces. I got quite a lot of pictures because he was a right superstar. Hey guys, so my laptop is struggling again, so I'll see you in the next one for part 3. Sorry.